Hello, and welcome to my Let's Play of Dark Souls. This is going to be my first Let's Play that I've actually tried to make, and the reason I'm trying to make a Let's Play of Dark Souls is because I actually really like all Let's Plays of Souls games, particularly blind Let's Plays. And Dark Souls 2 is going to be coming up sometime next year, and I really want to do a blind Let's Play of Dark Souls 2. But I've never actually done any Let's Plays before, so I wanted to make this Let's Play of a game I already knew, Dark Souls, and basically just to work out any video recording problems and just process issues that go into making a Let's Play. So hopefully I'll be improving my Let's Play skills as we make this particular Let's Play. This should be a fairly full comprehensive walkthrough of Dark Souls. However, I am planning on giving myself a handicap just to make things interesting, because I have played this before and obviously I can't do a blind Let's Play like I would like to do with Dark Souls 2. This isn't a particularly original handicap I'm giving myself. I've seen it done a couple of times, but I still wanted to give it a go. I will be basically playing the game using only fist weapons. So basically, mainly just the Caestus. I won't be allowing myself to equip any shields. I won't be using any offensive magic. I may be using magic just as a way of buffing my own character, but I'll definitely be not be using any direct damage, nothing like oral decoy or any sort of magic that would directly affect the enemy. Same with items. Basically avoid using firebombs and other poisoned throwing knives or any other tactic that one might use just to get rid of enemies easily with items. We're going to go full punch on all the way through the game if possible. And I will try and do everything I can in the game that it will allow me to do using this particular tactic. So if you happen to have come here looking for a actual walkthrough of the game, I will be trying to provide, commentary and tips and tricks and show you where everything is in the game to the best of my ability. And hopefully we'll see like a couple of epic fails on my part as I attempt to punch things which were probably not designed to be punched to death. So with that said, let's continue on. Start a new game. I'll just give this character the name Giga. This is right and appropriate, since that's who I will be for the while. We'll leave it as male. Now, if you are a new player and you're wondering about the whole character selection process, you really couldn't go very wrong doing whatever you please the first time through the game. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of different classes one could pick, and they all have different stats. But if you are a new player, I would figure just read the descriptions and go with a style which you think you might enjoy. You can very easily turn any of the starting characters into any sort of character that you actually want to develop into. If you are very concerned about completely maximizing the stats of your character, I would definitely wait until you do a second character after you've learned all the game mechanics and have a particular build in mind. Now there is one character here which I think has a rather underrated ability, which is the Thief. The Thief has the Master Key, which is one of the gifts that you can select in the next section of the game. And if you want the Master Key, and pretty much everyone does want the Master Key at this point, if you have a Dex build in mind, the Thief is actually a pretty good choice to start with, I think. In the gift section, most of these items don't do anything, or at least their abilities are very situational and limited. The Tiny Beings Ring is You know, I could have sworn they had patched that, but it looks like it still has the bogus description in there. The Tiny Beings ring does not actually recover your HP, it only just gives you a tiny bit of extra maximum HP while it's on. The Old Witch's ring is only used to talk to one particular NPC. It doesn't reward you with any tangible benefit. The pendant is completely useless. Binoculars you could find literally a few, you know, basically a couple of seconds walk or run, since you'll be dodging skeletons away from the initial bonfire in the main section of the game. Twin humanities, not like humanity is easily attained in this game if you know where to look for it. Same with black firebombs and Goddess Blessing. So this is why people generally go with the Master Key. However, if you pick the Thief class like me, you already have the Master Key. So we're going to go with black firebombs, because black firebombs, although the black firebombs themselves aren't terribly special, I always like to think of this as a gift of a particular weapon in the game, because you can just sort of bust your way through the tutorial and pick up an item immediately that you wouldn't normally be able to get, as I'll show you, since we'll be doing the tutorial quite quickly, just to get it out of the way. I'm going to go pretty slim, because I think slim makes the best zombies. In fact, let's go female, so we're even slimmer. I tend to spend an awful lot of the game as a zombie, so there's really no reason to stress about your face, because you'll suffer from, you know, headgear syndrome through most of the game, not actually looking at yourself in any particular way. I'm just throwing together a face that I kind of like. There we go. Same with colours and everything. The game actually has like a fairly extensive sort of editor. You can go down pretty like far. Just see like a full hair color mixer. Let's do lip size and lip austerity and change our hormones from male to female for reasons I still to this day I don't understand why they particularly decided to put hormones as a slider, but nonetheless amusing. So I think you're, as long as you have the physique and the gender that you like, and you're not planning to go helmetless, you don't have to stress too much about character customization unless you're really into the cosplay level of character building. Anyway, I'm done here, so let's keep going. Enjoy the cutscene, I always do.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign.
Souls games always have a really nice cinematic right at the start, and then they don't have cinematics pretty much forever. They do have a few cinematics, but nothing like that. They tend to get it out of the way in a hurry.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
So now you see why you probably shouldn't worry too much about your face. Hello. Go away now. Okay, we're in our jail cell to start with. Let's pick up the key. Girl. Nope. Nah. Good work then. Nope. I am a failure. So we're in our jail cell. Now, if you're playing this game for the first time, you'll probably wonder what these things are. These are basically development messages that are left on the ground to teach you how to play. So they'll teach you how to use your camera, then they'll teach you how to attack. Like so. You always start with a broken sword though. So the only people you can actually kill are the people in the basement, who seem to have their damage defenses turned down to about as low as it can possibly go. If you're trying to attack pretty much anybody else in the game with like a broken sword or your fist, there is pretty much no chance of you actually killing them. As you can see, we've got a mean guy sort of patrolling down here. I have to admit, the first couple of times I played this game, I had absolutely no idea. Like, I pretty much tunnel visioned my way down the corridor, and I had no clue that I could actually look through these bars and see this guy. So no, if you come through here, like, take it in. Roll. Now, if you're playing the game online, you'll see a lot of these orange text messages like scattered around the game, and they'll generally be left by other players using a bunch of preset phrases. And some of them will give you hints, but virtually a lot of them will just be trolling and asking them to recommend the message so that they get an Estus Flask. Because if you recommend the message, I believe they get an Estus Flask, which will heal them, or provide them an extra dose of healing while they play the game. Still, messages are fun. It's like one of the things I really enjoy about Souls games is this kind of inclusiveness in like a much wider community, even if you're just playing by single player. Generally, during this walkthrough, I might be offline a lot. And that's not because I don't like having the online feature. It's just that my internet connection occasionally balls us up, and I don't want to have to be disconnected from my game while recording. But we'll see how it goes. I might decide to play online a bit more as we go. Now, of course, for the new people, I actually had two things which I'd forgotten to talk about first. But we'll talk about this thing first. This thing's a bonfire. Basically like a sword just stuck inside like a pile of ashes that you occasionally find in the game. And these will be your checkpoint system. When you rest at one, you'll heal yourself. And basically the world around you will reset to the state it was originally, which means all the enemies will go back to the way they were. And occasionally some of the environmental effects will go back to the way they were too. Although in general, if you like open doors, unlock routes, shortcuts, and defeat like particularly powerful enemies, especially bosses, they won't reset when you touch a checkpoint. And the other thing I failed to mention earlier was details about the Master Key. Like I sort of alluded to the fact that everyone picks the Master Key, but I didn't actually tell you what the Master Key is for. And I will get to that, but later in Lordran, because it's much better to actually show you than just try and explain it offhand. So let's open this door. Now this is basically like a scare for the new players, this tutorial boss. It's reminiscent of the one in Demon Souls, where like you're supposed to die sort of fight that you could actually win. And you can win this fight too if you're dedicated enough. I'll just show you. Let's see if you stand about here. There he is, waiting on the roof. Once you get about halfway through this room, you'll jump down and the fight will start. Now if you're fighting with a broken sword or a fist, you'll do about 2 or 3 damage a hit, and it will take literally an hour of punching this guy to actually kill him. However, if you were like me and you chose black firebombs as your gift, this fight can be made rather easy. And the rules I put on myself about using attack items, I'm going to ignore just for the tutorial, because we don't want this to take too long. And I can't just use fist weapons in this part of the game anyway, because there are no fist weapons. So let's try and get the tutorial out of the way in a decent amount of time. This is why I like to think of like picking the black firebombs as a gift is actually like picking the Demon's Great Hammer as a gift, because that's pretty much what you'll do with them. If you pick black firebombs, you can easily burn that guy down, provided you have the ability to actually, basically dodge his attacks. If you're completely new to this game, that will probably have been a little harder, because you have to adjust to how the game controls first. But if you're willing to go through the tutorial twice, like, go through it once normally, and get a feel for it, and then go back and make the character again, get some black firebombs, and just burst through. your shield normally. It's like a message over here that basically says, "Get your shield." You're supposed to block that guy's arrows, but really, I've seen far too many Let's Plays where like people are like, "Huh? Where's my shield?" They search around this room and basically just faffle on it. I'm faffling on too, but I'm just trying to say whatever comes to mind. This guy's programmed to run away when you run at him with a shield. So you can then pick up your weapon conveniently. I'll show you what you mean about how ridiculously bad it is to punch things with your fist. That was probably the most powerful attack I could have possibly hit him with, and I did 6 damage, and his health bar didn't move at all. No, it's moving a little bit, like, it's pretty harsh. Like, his health pool is pretty low. Let's try it again with an actual weapon, just so you can see the difference. Hurt! Yeah, see, that's just sad. They really don't want you to punch things in this game. This is a shame. It'd be nice if you could actually have like a class or stat in which you're just like martial art your way through the zombies. I mean, that would be kind of fun. The Caestus gameplay is kind of like that. Ooh, suspicious wall. I wonder what it does. I'm certain this was put in here to like as like fan service to people who played the original Demon's Souls and fell for the trap in that game. Rolling ball. Where are you? I failed. I was gonna do something impressive there. Alas, the world does not shine on me when I try and show off.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can... Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this.
Now, if you do the tutorial normally, he won't give you the big Pilgrim's Key. You'll actually get that off the boss, fighting him normally. But since I've defeated him early,
now I must bid farewell.
The key moves over to this guy, so that you can't leave without your Estus flask.
So go now, and thank you.
And he'll kill himself the minute I'm out of the room, because I'm not, like... I've never been quite clear on why some undead in this game seem to have the ability to just leave this mortal coil, while others are just bound to stay forever. Anyway, the item he gave us, as you can see in my little hotbar down there, is the Estus flask. And for anyone playing this game, this will now be your new best friend. If you drink from your Estus flask, you'll heal yourself. And if you go to the bonfire, you'll recharge the amount of uses you have in your Estus flask. So yeah, that's why resting at a bonfire to recover can sometimes be worth having to deal with all the enemies again. Yeah, just in celebration of our chosen method of play. Let's take the shield off. Resting at bonfires revives enemies. This is true. May as well talk about this one too, because a lot of people will misunderstand this one. It sounds like it's saying hold the left stick forward and then push the button, or just hold them both. It actually means like quickly push both at the same time. So to kick, you have to hold the right shoulder button and quickly press forward at the same time, so you have to hit both like that. If you try and like do it a bit more lackadaisically, it'll just sometimes just do as it pleases. And the same with the jumping attack, you have to very quickly hit R2 and forward at the same time. And that's very important if you want to do a fist gameplay, because you'll be using that a lot. Anyway, you don't actually have to deal with these guys, that's wrong. Go away. Don't have time to waste here. This guy is for parrying practice, basically. It's the only reason he exists. Just for that. He's fulfilled his purpose in life. See, there's a message here. It says, if you want to parry, hold R2, L2. If you want to riposte, do L2 and then do stab. Very quickly. Drops an item. Alas, it is a broken sword. Who wants to take bets? Yep. Normally you climb up here, and then the boss is down there waiting for you. And then you jump on him and you go, "Roar!" Stab. But that's a pretty easy thing for people to learn. Plunging attacks. You just jump off a ledge and press the attack button. Sorry if it seems like I'm rushing, but I just didn't want to spend too much time in the tutorial if I absolutely could avoid it. There are millions of videos about the tutorial of Dark Souls already. And I'm pretty sure that people generally either get it themselves or have already gotten it. So, let's move on.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran